All righty then. Good evening, everyone. Call to order. A silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag
of
of
the
the United States
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
our God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks. I'm sorry, roll call, not vote, Nat, not yet.
Mayor Kindle,
Hey, present.
attending virtually from,
I'm sorry, attending virtually from the City Hall of Harper Woods.
okay, Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Present, attending virtually from my home in Harper Woods.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Present and attending virtually from Harper Woods.
Councilwoman Pies,
present, attending virtually from Harper Woods.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Present and attending virtually from my house in Harper Woods.
Councilwoman Williams,
Present, attending virtually from my home in Harper Woods.
okay, Councilman Toussaint.
Present and attending virtually from my home in Harper Woods.
All right, acting city manager Szymanski
Here.
and city attorney DeWally.
Here.
Okay,
Okay, I need approval of minutes. I need a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Councilwoman Sawicki,
I'll offer the motion to approve, receive, and file the regular city council meeting held on May 3rd, 2021.
Support.
Support.
support by Mrs. Councilwoman Pies. Discussion? All in favor? Roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go to D, item D, public comments on agenda items. It's only for agenda items. Is there anyone that needs to speak or address anything on the agenda items?
Mr. Callis has his hand raised.
Mr. Callis,
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council. You got a nice haircut, Miss Mayor. Just a couple things on the agenda real quick. I'm very glad and hope for the approval on the new fire engine that we have coming in. The last one was pretty much on its last leg, so it's nice to see a new one coming in. I seen the letters that were dated from 4/8 to 4/21 and that it had been paid for already for approval this evening. I see that they're hoping that it does last another 7 years, Madam Mayor. And the only thing I'd like to say is I'd like to be proactive for the next one in case in 5 years we go down a little bit. The second one was for the Beaconsfield project. Although I had thought everything was approved on that, I just want to know if council has discussed the part of changing to no parking on Beaconsfield. The third thing on the agenda was the WOW franchise agreement. I wasn't sure if they were our audio, video, and internet programs or not. With the pavement joint and crack sealing project and the concrete pavement repairs, if Mr. Szymanski wouldn't mind explaining what those do to the residents, please. And for our city clerk, Ms. Clark, I'm sorry to hear that Laurel retired, but all the best to her. Thank you.
is there anyone else that would like to comment on agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. I need a motion, a resolution.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 9.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Constantino. Any discussion? Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
this has to do with the emergency repair of the lines for heating and cooling, that is the air conditioning lines.
Yes,
I'm just curious, I know that in the explanatory information, we're told that this is a portion of the lines. I had the impression it wasn't everything. And so I'm curious what's down the line for us in terms of repairs that might need to be done to the system in the future. Will this take care of all of the lines in City Hall for the air conditioning unit, or will we need to go back and do additional work in the future?
is Mr. Snyder there?
I can answer this. Councilmember Sawicki, what had happened is the air conditioning line was rotted out, and what we had to do was to trace the rotted pipe until we got to good pipe. And again, you know, the piping in the building, it's been here since 1951. We think that this will fix the problem. Has it caused significant delays and disruptions in the court? Yes, it has. There was leakage, there was ceiling damage, there was asbestos abatement, all the things that go with that repair, and it had to be an emergency repair. That's the status quo of it right now. As far as the additional piping, I will ask Bill Schneider to give a comment on that. Bill, could you please respond? You're on mute.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. This, what's going to be repaired, John is right. It's just a small section of what they refer to as a chilled water line that goes to one of the 4 cooling blower units at City Hall. And this services just the front office. This represents about maybe 25% of the piping. It doesn't get into the components, but John is correct. All the piping for this is original, and it can give way at any time. You know, it's just one of those things when you start working on old galvanized plumbing and making repairs to one section, then the next compromised section becomes the weakest, and that too can give away. So, you know what, we can almost expect this to be ongoing unless we were in a position to replumb the entire building, which I really don't think is in the budget right now. So we're addressing these issues as they come up.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Okay, can we have a roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Mayor Pro Tem Constantino.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
And Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, this takes us to old business, and there are 9. And that brings us to new business and city manager report.
Okay. Mayor and Council, item G1, Michigan Department of Transportation contract, Beaconsfield from Kingsville to Woodland. Attached is a contract with Michigan Department of Transportation for the federal grant to replace the portion of Beaconsfield Road from Kingsville to Woodland. The total project cost is estimated at $704,000 and provides for federal funds of $570,740 and a local match of $133,260. The contract has been approved by the Michigan Attorney General's Office for form and has been reviewed by the city attorney as required by charter. It is requested that this contract be approved.
Madam
Madam
Mayor,
Mayor,
Councilwoman Constantino?
I'd like to offer the resolution to approve the following contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the resurfacing of Beaconsfield Road from Kingsville to Woodland, and the total amount of $704,000, of which $570,740 are federal funds and $133,260 required city matching funds. Michigan Department of Transportation contract number 21-5129, control section STU 82,000, job numbers 205844 CON and project number 21A0472, and further to authorize the mayor and acting city manager to sign the contract.
Support.
support.
Support by Mrs. Councilwoman Pies. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Madam Mayor,
Yes. Councilwoman Sawicki?
I just have a couple of questions. The first is, I understand there'll be milling and resurfacing. Will the configuration of the road change? In other words, I have not seen any plans for what the roadway will look like. And the last time we resurfaced Beaconsfield, we changed the configuration of the road so that we had one lane in either direction and a turn lane in the middle. I didn't know if any consideration was being given to a bike lane or I know Mr. Callis had mentioned before something about parking on the street. And so I wonder what it will look like when this project is completed. So that's the first question. And I will ask, for a response to that one. The second question is, do we have any lead or galvanized service lines that are going to need to be repaired? Are we fairly confident that we're not going to have to do any additional work with lead or galvanized service lines? Because I know that's an additional cost. And finally, my understanding is that they will do the bid on this contract and that we don't have to do the bid on this contract. And so those are the three questions I have.
Okay, question number one, it's going to look pretty similar to what we have in place now.
Right.
To add an additional parking lane there would actually put traffic in danger. It would be way too close, having cars pass by one another. The configuration we have seems to work. We don't have accidents out there. And in regards to question number two, in regards to galvanized piping, now I'm assuming that when we start tearing out the street, we really don't know what we're going to find under there until we get to that, but I can save that question for Bill Schneider. And your third question, what was your third question, Councilmember Sawicki?
Just my understanding is that they will handle the bidding on this project, that we don't have to handle that.
Yes, that is correct, because their contractors have already been screened to be in compliance with the federal grant that's providing this money.
Okay.
So Bill Schneider, would you care to elaborate on Councilmember Sawicki's question number two? Your mute is on.
Sure, I'll be glad to chime in on that. In this phase of the project from Kingsville to Woodland, there is nothing that we anticipate running into underground as far as galvanized or lead. What we have looked forward to in the second phase of this project are a couple of road crossings near Huntington and near Beaconsfield, where we have water mains that go under the road and have been somewhat problematic. Again, water mains are just large old plumbing, 8-inch water mains that are compromised to some degree. So what we're taking into consideration is the cost of changing the water mains under Beaconsfield at Eastwood and Huntington in the second phase of this project. But no, that's such a prudent and relevant question because we don't want to put a new road surface down only to have to come back and tear it up to make repairs.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Are there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
I think Mr. Toussaint had his hand up first before you, Councilwoman Lyons. Is that correct? Maybe.
Yes, because I had it up at the last time, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mine is real simple. Which I ask every time, when are we gonna finally break ground on this project I've been hearing about for the last 4 years?
Excuse me? What did you say?
Say, when are we gonna break ground?
As soon as you get done voting on the contract
Right.
and we sign it off and send it to MDOT. So it probably within about a week.
Hallelujah.
Okay. Councilwoman Lyons.
So my question is a little bit around just the budgeting. So since the total cost of the project is, you know, the 704,000, and then we're paying about 133,000. Where does that come from in the city's budget? Like where would that be coming from?
In the major road fund, it's already been budgeted.
Right.
And a quick follow-up question. So to Councilwoman Sawicki's question about bike lanes, if that were something that, you know, we wanted to do in the future, what would that even look like, you know, down the line? Would that be, would we have to have an impact study or something that would show us how we could make that happen? Because, you know, 5-10 years down the line, maybe people might want to be more sustainable and,
Yeah,
you know.
you would need to conduct a traffic study, you know, at a minimum, and the state would actually have to weigh in, you know, on that particular item because it could jeopardize. You know, we don't know what the traffic patterns are going to be 10 years down the road. Pretty much today they look like they did 10 years ago, but that may change, you know, 10 years down the road, and maybe the council at that time will address it 10 years down the road.
We
Well,
said before.
I have another question.
Yes, Councilman Toussaint.
Well, just to kind of go on with it, putting up a bike lane to some really just painted it in there. I mean, we have to get some approval for it, but it's something we should have considered then, or?
Again, it's you know, the engineers look at this, they look at the traffic patterns, and there really isn't any room right now, you know, with the existing traffic patterns, but 10 years from now, who knows?
Yeah.
Madam
Any
Mayor?
further discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor?
Yes. Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I just had a question about the road repairs. The repairs that we're considering doing, is this like more of a permanent repair, something that's gonna last many years, or is it more like a temporary repair where you're digging it up, resurfacing, but it's only gonna last like maybe 5 years and we gotta do it all over again?
Well, this repair we should get 20 years out of this road. It'll be a substantial look when it's all done, but it's about 20 years.
Are there any further discussions?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilman Toussaint.
That was a good question she just asked on that. I noticed in some of the city roads there with the contractors that even having some sort of guarantees, they make them give them guarantees that if something happens within a certain amount of time, they will repair. Do we have any kind of guarantees with this?
This is MDOT.
Okay, yeah, this is MDOT, and they get those guarantees, you know, from their contractors. They ensure that the contractors use the proper grade of asphalt, that they have the proper bedding, that like Bill Schneider was saying, that there's no water main breaks there. All those types of things compromise the life of a road. The weight of the vehicles going down the road can put cracks in the road, and when winter comes, you can have water that gets in the cracks that freeze and further compromise the roads. But they're the ones that set the standards on those roads, and that's why they picked the contractors to have extended life.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Thank you. This is kind of piggybacking on the last question. I know that we're responsible to supervise the work that, our engineers will be monitoring on the project as it goes along. Does the cost of our end of this project include engineering, or is that separate?
Okay, engineering, it's a split. We pay the engineering upfront, and again, as the material comes in, our folks will take bore samples to make sure that the asphalt is the proper grade, that there's not too much tar, not too much sand, that whatever the contract calls for and the specs call for, that's exactly what they're laying down.
All right, thank you.
You know what, if I could chime in too on that, John's right. There's a design mix standard that they have to adhere to. Samples are taken throughout that project, and they do compression tests on those samples. But going back to an earlier question and comment about the road design, with this bituminous asphalt overlay, this is going down, milled down, and it's going to be placed over top of concrete. So what you will see a year from now, after this new road surface has been put down, is something called reflective cracks. And these reflective cracks are evident of the pavement underneath it. For example, you see panels of concrete street pavement that may be 25 feet wide and 30 feet long. And what you may see in new asphalt is called reflective cracks. So that being said, it kind of segues into joint sealing and crack filling, because what they will do when these reflective cracks become evident, and they will, is they will go back and seal those cracks with tar. So that's kind of the joint and crack sealing follow up on some of this work too.
Are there any other further questions? Seeing none, can we get a roll call vote? Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G2, local franchise agreement, Wide Open West Michigan LLC. Mayor and council, attached is a renewal franchise agreement with Wide Open West Michigan LLC, WOW, of Madison Heights. This agreement is a universal franchise agreement in a form mandated by the state of Michigan, who essentially now regulates cable TV in the state. Also attached is an email from the city attorney, who, having reviewed this agreement, states that it's in standard form, acceptable to the city. It is our recommendation that this agreement be approved.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Williams?
thank you. I'll offer the resolution. By resolution, approve the Uniform Video Service Local Franchise Agreement with Wide Open West Michigan LLC, WOW of Madison Heights, and further to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Support.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Lyons. Any discussion? Councilwoman Sawicki?
Real quickly, I don't believe we're making any kind of money on franchise fees, are we?
It calls for that, franchise fees and PEG fees. We normally get a service fee for anybody that's operating in the city.
Not much,
Not much, but every little bit helps.
not much. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G3, progress payment number 5, 2018 concrete pavement repair project number 180-204. Mayor and council, attached is a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 5 on the 2018 concrete pavement repair project number 180-204. It is recommended that this payment be approved.
Madam Mayor,
Madam Mayor,
Yes. Councilwoman Sawicki.
I'll offer the resolution to approve payment to L. Anthony Construction Incorporated in the amount of $6,065.71 for progress payment number 5 on the 2018 concrete pavement repair project number 180-204.
support.
Support by Councilwoman Constantino. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki, I'm sorry.
that's okay. In the supporting documents, it mentions that this is, now I've lost it. It's a final. I assume it's not the final payment, but are we nearing the end on this particular project?
You know what? I will bring Bill Schneider to the forefront. Bill, could you give a comment on Councilwoman Sawicki's?
Short answer is yes.
It is a final.
You know what, unless there's a contract extension tonight, as far as this goes through the 2018, it'll be yes.
Okay, great.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Pies.
yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G4, acceptance of affordability and planning grant, Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, EGLE. Mayor and council, I have received the attached email correspondence from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy regarding the affordability and planning grant we were awarded. Essentially, this grant will provide funding to conduct a water rate study in the amount not to exceed $15,800 with no local match required by the city. I have reviewed this and recommend that we accept this grant as awarded.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Lyons.
I'll offer the resolution to accept the affordability and planning grant in the amount of $15,800 to fund the cost of water rate study of a water rate study with no local match required. And further, that the acting city manager be authorized to sign any required documents on behalf of the city.
Support.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Sawicki. Discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Lyons.
so what exactly would this water rate study entail? And, especially considering that it's due to be completed in a year from, a few weeks from now, what exactly are all of the details?
What I can say is that there's a lot of emphasis that's being placed on water quality, asset management plans for water, supporting the implementation of certain water management plans, and long-term infrastructure. All of those needs are prevalent in the community. We also have some restructuring that's may need to take place regarding our stormwater fund. What this grant will enable us to do is to have a very thorough water study for our water fund to implement not only the short-term needs of the fund, but the long-term needs of the fund.
So quick follow-up question. So assuming that we would need to contract out once that study is done, where do we go from there? And, then where will those funds that we've got with this grant, will they need to be applied to anything else? Or is this just for the cost of, the study to kind of give us our findings?
Yes, that's correct. It's just the cost of the study to get to the findings and how to plan for all of those events.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I was just wondering that for this grant, the study that we're doing is going to be the water quality, the water rate study. So I was just wondering, did they pick the topic, or is that something that we came up with as a city?
No, but essentially the state is getting very involved with, I want to say, everything from lead pipes to infrastructure, and making communities aware that they have to plan in advance, for these events. A lot of it had to do with the Flint water crisis, and making sure that we don't have those kind of problems in the city of Harper Woods. And this grant will help us identify problem areas and come up with a solution as to a proper remedy in the future.
Affordability.
And affordability. Yes.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks, please.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes?
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G5, contract extension, 2020 pavement joint and crack sealing project. Mayor and council, attached is a correspondence from our city engineers regarding our 2020 pavement joint sealing program. We have been reviewing an offer from Michigan Joint Sealing, Inc., who did last year's project, to honor their existing prices for an extension for 2021. By extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specification, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Madam Councilwoman Sawicki.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the contract modification in an amount not to exceed $75,000 with Michigan Joint Sealing Incorporated of Farmington Hills for the 2021 Pavement Joint Sealing Program, number 180-258.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Lyons. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes?
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Item G6, contract extension 2018 concrete pavement repair program. Mayor and council, attached is additional correspondence from our city engineers regarding our 2018 concrete repair program. As with the previous agenda item, we have been reviewing an offer from L. Anthony Construction to honor their existing prices for an extension for 2021. Again, by extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Lyons.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the contract modification in the amount to not exceed $50,000 with L. Anthony Construction of Shelby Township for the 2021 concrete pavement repair program number 180-160. I'm sorry, 260.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Constantino. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
No, Ms.
Madam
Williams,
Mayor,
Okay, Councilwoman Williams.
thank you. It took me a minute to get off mute.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, I just had a question. I know we're going with this contractor because we've used them before, and that it says that we don't feel that the bidding will result in lower prices. I was just wondering, what was the cost that we're saving in preparing the new bid specifications, advertising, startup costs, just roughly about?
About
how much is it?
7,500 at least.
Okay.
is there any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Constantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Item G7, contract extension, 2020 sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation project. Mayor and council, this is the third of 4 requests to extend the 2020 sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation with the contractor honoring their unit bid prices for 2021. Attached is a correspondence from our city engineers regarding this project, and we have reviewed the offers submitted by Deutsche Environmental Services to continue this project with the contractor extending their 2020 unit bid prices. Again, by extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved.
Madam
Madam Mayor,
Madam Mayor?
Excuse me, Councilman Tucson.
Yeah, I approve the contract modifications in an amount not to exceed $100,000 with Deutsche Environmental Services of Warren for the 2021 sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation project number 180-259.
support.
Support by Councilwoman Pies. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes, this actually deals with both this and the next contract extension. I thought that these projects began as a grant and that we were required to do a certain amount of work on this project. Now, if I could get a better understanding of this, how far are we in doing the CCTV investigation and the storm sewer repair program? Is the city nearly done? You had mentioned 3/4 or 3 out of 4 requests to extend this. And so I'm just curious about how this is working. I know that the city has benefited from the CCTV program, but are we almost done with this now? What do you anticipate, or can you enlighten us on this project?
Bill Schneider, could you please answer that question? Bill knows exactly where we're at on that.
I would be happy to do that. Yeah, you know what, the stormwater, storm sewer cleaning and televising, we have exhausted, we utilized the full value of that grant, which
Okay.
was over $800,000. So we realized the full value of that grant, and that serves as a bit of a roadmap going forward, identifying areas that are going to be in need of repair. And you'll see that in the next request coming up. But as far as the $100,000 for cleaning and televising, that is an ongoing project that the city of Harper Woods is doing to maintain our sanitary sewer lines. Last year, we started on the east side of 94, and we went from Harper to the city limits from Old 8 Mile Road up to Beaufait. This year, there's going to be a continuation of that project going south. The reason we select some of these areas is it's relevant to phone calls we get and some of the investigative work and video reviewing we do. And also the contractor is cleaning rear yard easements. And by that, I mean about 65% of the sewer lines are in the rear easement backyards, which takes additional manpower and is somewhat cumbersome to do. We can maintain the front easement sanitary sewer lines with the existing equipment we have, but they do a little deeper dive in some of the heavier lifting by providing this service for us.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Councilwoman Williams, did you have your hand up?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Yeah, I was just wondering that the total amount currently proposed is 100,000. So what was the amount last year?
It was a grant.
It was actually a grant, and as Bill Schneider just explained, this is maintenance every year. And to further clarify your question, being preventive saves a lot of money. I remember, I believe it was in October, where this program identified some weak piping in the Ridgemont area. And, you know, we were able to intercept in time. It could have been a major disaster at the time. And we were able to get in there and make the repairs with very little intrusion. And I want to say with any problems whatsoever, had we just let it lapse and had the pipes collapse, it could have well been into the hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix the damage.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, please, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes,
and Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G8, contract extension 2020 storm sewer repair program. Mayor and council, Attached is the final correspondence from our city engineers regarding the 2020 storm sewer repair project. We have reviewed the offer submitted by Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, LLC, to continue this project with an extension of their 2020 unit bid prices. Again, by extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding would result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost effective to rebid it. As with the previous contractors, they have done excellent work, and it is in the best interest of the city to approve this. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved.
I need a resolution.
I'll
Madam
move.
Mayor? Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the contract modification in an amount not to exceed $65,000 with Great Lakes Contracting Solutions, LLC of Waterford for the 2020 Storm Sewer Repair Program number 180-256.
Support.
Okay, support by Councilwoman Williams. Discussion? Are there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Lyons,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay. Item G9, Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund Renewal. Mayor and council, attached is a memorandum from the acting finance director transmitting an invoice from the Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund for our 2021 workers' compensation insurance. We have been members of this self-insurance fund for over 30 years, and it is recommended that we continue to participate. As this is a self-insurance pool, competitive bidding can be waived in accordance with city policy. I would also note that we received a dividend of $88,664 this year that has been applied toward the premium. This helps to offset this cost. It is recommended that this payment be approved.
Madam Mayor?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
By resolution, approve payment to Michigan Municipal League Workers' Compensation Fund in the amount of $56,692 for workers' compensation insurance from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022. And further, in that this is self-insurance pooled funds, that competitive bidding be waived in accordance with city policy.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Sawicki. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Roll call vote.
Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Costantino,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item D10, change in meeting date. Mayor and council, attached is a memorandum from the city clerk requesting that due to a scheduled training program beginning on Sunday, June 13th, and continuing the entire week, that the city council meeting that was scheduled for Monday, June 14th, be rescheduled to Monday, June 7th. As her memo states, her previous assistant, Ms. Lombardi, has retired and her replacement has not had training in recording a meeting. I have reviewed this with her, and it is preferable that Ms. Frank be present to ensure that the meeting goes smoothly. Therefore, it is recommended that the meeting be rescheduled.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
Madam Mayor?
Councilwoman Sawicki.
I'll offer the motion to reschedule the June 14th, 2021 City Council meeting to the previous week, Monday, June 7th, 2021.
Support.
Second,
Support by Councilwoman Pies. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
there's a question to Mrs. Franks. You don't want your support person to have herself thrown into the fire to get some experience here?
No, I want to make sure she keeps coming back. That might not do it. She'd be like, I'm out of here. No.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman, is that you, William?
Costantino.
Constantino, okay?
I don't have a problem with rescheduling, but I am just a little bit concerned that when we, that leaves 5 weeks because the next meeting is not until the middle of July. So I'm wondering, that's a pretty long time. So either we have to be super organized by June 7th and have everything, all our ducks in a row, so we don't have to have an emergency meeting. That would be something we don't want to do. I just want to make sure that people are alerted and ready so that we are prepared. Because that June, you know, the meeting before it and the meeting after it will probably be very heavy meetings.
So noted. Is there any further discussion?
Well,
Okay,
Oh, Madam Mayor,
yes, Councilwoman
this is,
Sawicki.
this is just a reminder to anyone from the audience that June, July, and August, we only have one meeting a month. And so the June meeting then would be this first week of the month. July and August are the second week of those months respectively. So I just wanted to clarify that for the, for anyone who might be viewing the meeting and is not aware of that.
Is there any further discussion?
well, yeah.
Councilman Tucson?
Yeah, well, Councilwoman Constantino, you were worried about the 7th. Why did you think it should be more like the 21st or something? Or what was your thoughts on that? I heard you saying get it all together, but.
Well, I mean, obviously, if there's still training going on, you know, it may be going on still at that time, the training they're doing the previous week, or she may not have time for preparations the week after, because I mean, she requested the week before for a reason. So I mean, we don't want to freak her out, but I mean, the date she chose is really the only possible date. I'm just thinking it's going to be extra work if we have to throw in an emergency meeting, because then not only would we have to last minute get a bunch of papers out and advertise it and all the stuff that we have to do every time we have a meeting, but you know, she'll be doing training on top of it. So I just want to make sure everybody's organized and prepared so we can go 5 weeks without a meeting. So, because that means that nothing will be voted on in terms of financial expenditures for 5 weeks. So I don't know if we, you know, and we can't really even move up the July meeting a week because of 4th of July either, because it's the 5th of July is the celebrated day. So, yeah, just batten down the hatches and get prepared is what I'm saying, you know? Get ready for it.
Is there any
Well, you know,
further discussion?
Well,
Councilman Tucson?
well, I city clerk has been proved to be extremely efficient. I'm sure she's thought of some of these things.
I'm sure. All right, is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of this motion?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Okay.
We appreciate
Item-
you.
oh, Item G11, resolution, state of emergency declaration permitting the city council and other public bodies to continue to meet by electronic, remote, and telephonic means. Mayor and council, it has been brought to my attention that the emergency order that has allowed local governing bodies to hold meetings virtually is about to expire. After May 24th, 2021, any local governing body that chooses to continue holding their meetings in any other manner than in person, that body must declare a local state of emergency. The attached resolution has been provided for your review to declare such an emergency for Harper Woods. The reasoning for this declaration is due to the continued closure of the district court and their offices. The Michigan State Court Administrator has stated that the courts in Wayne County will remain closed until phase 3 of their return to full capacity guidelines have been reached, which requires that 14 days need to pass the following 65% of Wayne County's eligible population receiving an initial dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Since we share the courtroom with the judge and her staff, we feel it is in the best interest of the city and its employees that we follow the direction of the state court administrator. When the court is allowed to have in-person meetings again, we can also resume in-person meetings. It is therefore my recommendation that we adopt this resolution.
Madam Mayor,
yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
I'll offer the motion to adopt the resolution declaring a local state of emergency in Harper Woods until such a time that the Michigan State Court Administrator announces that courts in Wayne County have reached phase 3 of the return to full capacity guidelines, or December 31st, 2021, whichever comes first.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Lyons. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki first, please.
as of today, we have 1,281 residents who have had COVID and 49 deaths, and that seems pretty significant to me. As of a couple weeks ago, I was told that we are the 11th highest city in Wayne County to, in terms of our COVID numbers. It's frightening to me to see how our residents are continuing to spread COVID. And I'm encouraging everyone to get, their poke so that we can get this under control, to wear masks when we're in larger groups. I don't know what our current percentage is for Harper Woods, but I know that Wayne County's percentage rate, once we reach 65% vaccination rate, 14 days after 65% is when the courts will open up. And that seems like a reasonable level to me to meet in person. I don't want to be in any position to be a bad example in terms of how we approach this deadly virus. And for us to have lost 49 people in our community alone is really unfortunate. And so that's the only comment that I wanted to make about this very important issue.
Councilwoman Pies.
yes, so it says here 65% of Wayne County's eligible population. We're sure that's Wayne County and not the state. And if it is the county, do you know what percentage we're at right now?
I believe we're somewhere around 55. I believe it's
I think
somewhere right around there.
That's one of the reasons why we
Yeah.
have these new clinics popping all up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes, I'm sort of the devil's advocate a little bit on this. Since the courts won't be meeting in the meeting room, then that means there should be sanitary for city council meetings. And the fact that we don't have that many people come to the city council meetings as they do to the courts, so we can still be social distance. And the fact that all of us that on the city council are vaccinated, I think we need to have some confidence in the vaccinations that we are administering and taking.
Councilwoman
Madam Mayor?
Potts. Yes,
I see
Councilwoman.
our city attorney shaking her head here, and I'm wondering if she can chime in on this since she works in the court.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilperson Paez. Yes, you are correct. With all due respect, Mr. Toussaint, I go to the court virtually every day. I'm there 3 to 4 days a week, and court staff is there 5 days a week. So there is somebody occupying the court, and we do have people who walk in the court. We try to limit it as much as possible, but occasionally somebody either walks in or there are individuals who we do have to have in the court. So the court's not empty. There are people there. And thus far, in having the closure, it's, I think, kept everybody relatively safe so far, although we have had some significant incidences. And as Councilperson Zwicky noted, it's tragic. It's too bad. But kind of regardless of all that, is that this is governed by the state court administrator and the Wayne County court administrator. Regardless, if we say, oh, 55% is fine, it won't get the court open because the court is governed by the state court administrator and the Wayne County administrator. So that's kind of where it stands at this point. Court's closed.
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Duwally. Is
Sure.
there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Constantino?
Yeah, I understand the risks, and I certainly think for anything indoors, there definitely should be a little bit more of a delay until we can get a higher percentage vaccinated. However, outdoors, the risk is substantially lower. And I was wondering if there's any way we could continue outdoor activities as long as people are socially distanced and anyone who is not vaccinated is masked. And so I mean, I agree that any of our indoor meetings should be virtual, but there are some things that could be done outdoors that I think we're being unnecessarily draconian on. And maybe we could set a date where it would, where maybe like a month from now or something, where it'd be okay for people to start meeting outdoors as long as they're socially distanced and people who are not vaccinated do wear their masks. If I'm thinking maybe like maybe opening up outdoor activities, maybe for Father's Day weekend or something like that.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the agenda item?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something regarding what Councilman Toussaint said. When we think about the number of people that would be in that courtroom, even during our meetings, because like today we have 28 people that's online with us, and that's quite a few people that would be in a courtroom. And our courtroom is not very big. So, even considering that fact that we really don't know in advance how many people are going to actually come to our meetings. It could be a small amount one day, but it could be a large amount another day. So that's something that you have to consider when we're thinking about, the number of people in the courtroom and whether it would be safe, because it wouldn't be safe if we have a lot, even like the 28 today is really a significant amount.
Okay, thank you. Is there any
last-
further? Councilman Toussaint?
My last comment on it is that I feel quite confident about the medicine, about the vaccines, And I feel confident that I could be around someone, I'm not going to catch it. I've had a small meeting over my house and nobody got sick from it. So I don't know, I'm just think we need to have a little more confidence in the medications or the vaccines that we are taking and administering.
Okay.
Madam
Is there
Mayor?
further discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Constantino?
I'm wondering if the people who introduced this and supported it would be willing to make an exception for outdoor meetings. If they would just make us very small or something, if there's a way that maybe we could still allow outdoor activities during the summer.
Okay.
How we,
Madam Mayor, Madam Mayor?
Yes, I understand. Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
Really, this has nothing to do with whether the city decides that they're going to open up outdoor events. That we could take up separately. This just has to do with our meetings. And so it just seems like it would be an unnecessary or I don't know, just doesn't fit.
All right. So is there any further discussion on this agenda item?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Lyons.
with regard to extending these emergency orders, and we have potentially here until whenever the court opens up first to the public or December 31st. My question would be, could there be a possibility of maybe moving the time or making things maybe more convenient or for folks to be able to attend? Because, you know, when we were meeting in person, it was always 7. So perhaps the virtual meetings, you know, that time could be taken into consideration if we are continuing on with virtual or Zoom meetings for city council meetings.
We can take that under consideration. Thank you. We can take that under consideration. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, let's go to call the audience one time. And let's begin with Bob, who has their hand up.
At the moment, I don't see anyone. If you'd like to speak, either
Okay.
electronically, raise your hand, or please just acknowledge. Okay, Mr. Kellis has just electronically raised his hand.
All right, Mr. Callis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On the Rehab House Program grant, I know Mr. Hinton is not here, and this really isn't for him. I want to know if Mr. Shermansky could please call me, because I have had contractors here. I have been the scope of work done. I have had my application in for 3 years. I've been told twice I've been approved, and I still have no work done. I even cut down the scope of work to just do the windows and doors so that I could have some heat within the home. And I was supposedly the next house, and the information that was given the last meeting was a little bit shocking, which I'm sure you could understand. So I'd appreciate a follow-up on that, please. The little stuff, I hope that we are hearing about the ordinance meeting in an ordinance committee. Mr. Toussaint, I look forward to hearing about the flyer in the assistive recruiting, and as well as the Memorial Day virtual ceremony. I'd also like to thank Councilwoman Lyons for putting together the cleanup crew that happened the day before Mother's Day. And I also want to thank the Beautiful Neighborhoods Committee through the NEDC that we just had another successful planting and cleanup on Kelly Road. And Madam Mayor, we did all wear our mask and we social distanced, just so you know, and we were very safe to make sure, even after the CDC guidelines, we're really not sure where to go after that with the CDC. I also want to thank Judge Coleman because she's now got the courts going on Fridays. And when I last spoke to her, pretty soon we are going to be able to have community service people work within our community instead of other communities. And then lastly, since I am a resident who lives on Beaconsfield, I really wish somebody would address this. When we did the road again, we took it down to 1 lane. Now, since we did that, with the new pavement or the new road coming in, we can't put 2 lanes because we're not within the state's measurements. So since it is a single lane, and being we have people nowadays parking on both sides of Beaconsfield, and it is a runway, the only parking we have on Beaconsfield is 1 driveway from Woodland to Kingsville, and all of us have long driveways where we can put in 4 or 5 vehicles. And other than that, with the Beaconsfield project, I heard it stated that it was going to be starting soon, so just a heads up would be great. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak?
You're really not going to.
Is there anyone else would like to speak?
I see no one at this time, Madam Mayor.
Okay, then call the council, please.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
thank you. I wanted to report on the Harper Woods Canine Program Pancake fundraiser on Saturday. That's put together by Grosse Pointe Animal Adoption Society. They have a separate 501c3 specifically for our canine program. And on Saturday, we had 125 breakfasts served. We had donations of, well, it's $50 minimum donation for one of our mini Kaisers that I showed at our last meeting. Donations for those were 44 of them. And so there was a total of over $4,600 in donations just for our canine program, which I thought was really impressive given that it was our first drive-through ever. I was really impressed by the people who donated. We had a couple of donations totaling a couple of $100. We had donations as small as $3. We had people going through who didn't want a breakfast, but just wanted to donate for it. So it was really encouraging, and I'm really thankful. I'd like to say thank you to everybody who showed up, everybody who gave what they could. And also, if you'd like a mini Kaiser, you can still donate for $50. You can go to City Hall. I've dropped off about 6 mini Kaisers there, and you can donate there. The city will collect the money and we'll pass it on over to GPAS for them to process and to give back to our Harper Woods Canine program. Also, I want to remind everybody that Councilman Toussaint and I will be hosting a virtual Memorial Day services since the city wasn't able to do it last year because of COVID. This will be something new that we're trying out. It's going to be Monday, May 31st at 10:30 a.m. We're going to do it via Zoom. We don't have the Zoom set up yet. I will be posting that on some of the Harper Woods Facebook groups. And also people are welcome to email me and I will get back to them with information as well as the Zoom link. I'll probably have that ready by the Friday before. And because it's virtual, we'd like to do something a little different this time around. I'd like to, or I invite residents actually to send me photographs of their veteran loved ones who have passed. And I think we can pay tribute to them with their photographs during the virtual meeting. So if you would like to send me a photograph of your loved one, you can send it to me at my council email, which is vpaiz@harperwoods.net, or you can find my address on the city website and contact me with any questions that you have. And I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Is there Councilwoman Sawicki? You need to unmute.
Sorry. Thank you. First, I wanted to extend our thanks to Laura Lombardi for her excellent work for the community. I understand and heard that she was retiring, and so I did want to pass that along. Also, a couple of things that have come up. The rat problem in Harper Woods. A number of times people have been commenting on this issue, and I know that we have been looking for alternatives to poisoning. I've heard from residents that that they've found dead squirrels, dead cats, and so the community is resorting to poisoning in order to kill these vermin. And so I'm hoping that we can get something going, if we haven't already, that are going to be pet friendly and yet help to control some of this problem that certain areas of the city seem to be experiencing. I know that other communities have done a bounty system, including, I believe, Ferndale, where they have, little awards given to residents who are able to kill the most rats. I know we have a number of residents who I think are quite willing to go out there with their BB guns and take care of some of these critters. But that, just throwing that out. I've heard about it quite often, and so I just wanted to kind of turn that over and see what we could do that'll be more proactive in this regard. And so if you have anything that you want to get out to the community, I think that would really be important. And the last thing is that I know the state, the House is taking up short-term rental. We talked about this at a previous meeting, and we're hoping to get something in place for ourselves to regulate some of the short-term rentals that are taking place in our community. And our own Tanisha Yancey is sponsoring the bill that the House is going to be discussing in committee tomorrow. The problem with the bill, and I want people to get this out and be able to just let the state know that it will take any control away from the city.
Right.
The intention of the House bill is that we cannot inspect properties. We cannot put in our own regulations. It eliminates local control. And I think this is a great problem. And I think that we need to express to Ms. Yancey, and we need to express to the Senate and the House that we want control to be in our hands as a locality, because it won't matter if we come up with regulations that we want to put into place. The state is intending on taking away that opportunity. And so it's House Bill 4722 and Senate Bill 46 that seems to be moving ahead in committee. And I really want our legislators to know that we as a home rule community deserve the respect to take care of our own residents and to do this, regulate this within our community. Up north, maybe there are communities where they want to encourage that kind of use. But here, we really want to be able to regulate what goes on. And so I want to bring that to the attention of council, and hopefully we can get some word out, that we're opposing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on council that wishes to speak?
We have three
Madam Mayor?
members, Madam Mayor, electronically raising their hand. We have Ms. Constantino, Ms. Williams, and then Ms. Lyons.
Mr. Tucson had his hand up. I saw it first.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, my turn?
Yes, go ahead.
Mine is real quick. With our Veterans Day Memorial Service, we are discussing having the national anthem If you know anybody that's interested in singing the national anthem, let us know. Otherwise, I may have to do it.
Oh, no. Okay. Okay, we'll find somebody. All right, Councilwoman Constantino. You,
Yes, I'm pretty sure that the choir at Chandler Park Academy, I think their juniors and seniors know all the lyrics to both the national anthem and Lift Every Voice and Sing. They better, and because I'm the one that taught it to them, although it's been some years ago. So I think if you want to reach out to Chandler Park Academy, or if you'd like me to reach out to them, I'm sure we could do that. And also, I was going to suggest that you reach out to the Harper Woods AMVETS Post 57 for your ceremony as well. And if you need help setting up a Zoom, I'll be happy to do that for you if you want. But that's about the memorial ceremony. In regards to what Mrs. Sawicki's comments about the Airbnbs and VRBOs, yeah, what we want to do is it's fine if they want to regulate that we can, or say that we can't stop them from doing it. But they're really, really limiting us because they are going to be taking business away from the hotels. So at the very least, we should be able to offer a hotel tax, and we should be able to do inspections, and they should have meet the same qualifications as our rentals. And I mean, if not, if we are completely unregulated, then I'm sorry, I'm going to take all my rentals and turn them into Airbnbs, every one of them, because then I won't have to deal with the inspections, and I'll probably make a lot more money. I'm being sarcastic, but you get the point. That if they are unregulated, a whole bunch of our rentals are going to turn into Airbnbs. Because otherwise, why would these landlords want to deal with all the things they have to do to have these long-term rentals? And then we're going to have a critical housing shortage. And that means anybody whose credit score is not high enough to purchase a house is going to be on the street. This, to me, is very serious, because the people who are poor, or people who maybe for some reason can't get a mortgage or what have you, they're going to basically be out on the street. And I don't think that our state reps have thought this through. This is pretty serious. There's going to be a huge shift in the housing. And to me, this is a racist bill, 100%, because you are putting people who can't afford housing, and not just racist classes. It's going to be against single moms the most, more than anything, which is a good chunk of my tenants. This is serious. This is very serious. So we need not only just to regulate for some control, but we need to maintain that these buildings are safe, number one. Number two, that all of our landlords don't stop renting to people and start having that turnaround and having people having constant parties and things like that. Because people, if they want to do something they can't do at their house, they rent one. So this is something we have to go after now. So I'm going to propose a resolution right now, and I hope someone will support me. And I don't have it written out, but we do need to have a resolution that does limit these, I don't know what you want to call them. They're basically hotels, that allows us to treat them as hotels. And that they do have to pass rental regulations and be subject to hotel tax. Because I'm telling you, this is going to create chaos.
They call them short-term rental.
Short-term rentals, thank you. I knew it like 5 minutes ago, but it escaped my brain. You know how I get when I get passionate about something, I get super focused on it. Okay, so the short-term rentals, Now, so this bill is already up, so this is something we need to get working on. So I don't know, Madam Mayor, I don't know how you want to handle this. I don't know how soon this is going to come to the floor. But we definitely need to have a resolution out there with our recommendations, or at least a letter from the council, if we get a majority of the council. Because this is going to affect us financially, because we're not going to get the income from, you know, to our city for the rentals. And it's you know, there's a lot that's going to happen. There's going to be an increased police activity.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to, going through you, maybe ask Ms. Diwali what we can do or what recommendations are.
Yeah, we can ask Sharon what is her recommendation, because we don't have anything in front of us. So Attorney Diwali, what would you suggest?
Well, the bill that's before the House right now that was introduced, it's just been introduced. It was introduced April 27th of 2021. The only thing it does is it stops a municipality from zoning against Airbnbs.
Right.
It has also, the courts had designated, and we have a court opinion on this, so I don't even know how constitutional this law will be, or if it will stand up to constitutional muster. The courts have already determined that Airbnb, short-term rentals, whatever you call them, are commercial uses. They're not a, you know, non-conforming use. The court specifically has held in a case that they are commercial uses. This law tries to take that out, and that they're not going to be commercial uses. However, this section does not prohibit regulation applied on a consistent basis to rental and owner-occupied residences. Notices, advertising, number of people, inspection fees, taxes, all that other stuff, all of our laws regarding inspections still apply. That was not taken out. That still applies. The only thing this is attempting to do is that it wants to prohibit a city from prohibiting, I'm sorry, that's a double negative, prohibiting these short-term rentals, and also taking away the commercial designation, which the courts have already, they've already done it. They've already spoken on this subject. So whether this passes constitutional muster, which very well could happen, you know, just because, as we've seen over our history as a nation and as a state, just because a law is passed doesn't mean it gets through the courts unscathed.
Okay.
So, and I have, you know, I have an ordinance, and I was kind of waiting on the ordinance, but now it's going to be a little compressed. What I'd like to do is get it out to everybody ahead of the next council meeting.
Okay.
So that everybody can review it and comment before the meeting, so that perhaps we can that will hopefully help things move a little quicker that way, and everybody have a better understanding of what's going on. And there's certain questions in there. So something we can talk about, and it can be on the agenda for the next meeting if everybody would like that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Is that satisfactory with you, Councilwoman Constantino?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as long as we get a copy of it in advance of the next meeting, and maybe have time to review the improved copy after we all take a look at it, and then maybe put it on that agenda.
Okay.
Is it possible to pull all that off in 3 weeks?
What I'd like to do, well, hopefully before this week is out, I should have something prepared, and there'll be questions and for the council to consider. And I would ask you to funnel any comments or questions through the city manager, who can pass them on to me, and we can handle them and respond to those
Okay,
So that, like I said, for the next council meeting, hopefully things move a little quicker and we're, people aren't asking questions that we can hopefully answer quickly through that sort of mechanism.
all right.
Thank you. I appreciate it, because if this was unregulated, it would be complete chaos.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak that hasn't spoken?
Yes, Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I was thinking about something that Councilwoman Constantino said earlier about having events outdoors. I know that right now we can't, and we don't know how far in the near future that we can. We could still have some Zoom type activities. And I was thinking about the Juneteenth, because that's coming up, Juneteenth. And I know, Madam Mayor, that you've had some very nice Juneteenth celebrations in the past, and those were outdoors. But I was wondering if Harper Woods could have something even by Zoom, just like similar to what the Memorial Day celebration is going to be, if it's possible, if Harper Woods could maybe put something together by Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Juneteenth celebration will go on. It'll be at Wayne County Community College campus. So I will bring forth the information as soon as everything is finalized. Right now, we have DSO will be performing at the Juneteenth along with a few other peoples, but it will be on the WC3 campus and not on city property.
Fine, I'm very pleased to hear that. Thank you.
Okay,
Is it on June 19th?
yes, it will be.
Okay, good.
Is there anyone else would like to speak that haven't spoken before?
We have Miss Pies and Miss Lyons.
Okay, Ms. Lyons, Councilwoman Lyons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to thank the Neighborhood Economic Development Coalition's Beautiful Neighborhoods Committee for, particularly Nancy Schaefer, for organizing the community cleanups that have been happening. There have been Kelly Road. There's plans for other places. And the next one, a lot of people in the community have been asking how to participate. That will be on Saturday, the 22nd at 8:30, cleaning up on Kelly Road. Please wear your mask and social distancing is enforced. And as far as let's see, I was able to host a Harper Woods Community Health and Fitness Forum that had a nice conversation around mental health. And I'd like to thank experts who were able to be a part of that panel. We had experts who were specialists in mental health and clinical psychology, as well as a plant-based nutritionist to give information on that. And thank you to Mary Jo Harris of the Family Center of Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods for providing mental health resources for the community during these times. So not only we can survive COVID, but we can thrive during it and after, and in whatever the next life is after the lockdown. And so with regards to that, I also wanted to say that the Harper Woods High School alumni who organized the Black Lives Matter protest the peaceful protest, the march last summer, Brendan Menfee and Jamie Dixon, Micah White, and Sierra Smith have actually put together a community newsletter to talk about different issues. And they tell really great inspiring stories and offer opinion pieces. And so it's actually called The Compass, Your Guide Through the Woods. And so it actually is something that comes out, and they do a really great job of putting all of that together, and very great writers. Brendan was actually able to participate at the Detroit Writing Room and making Harper Woods proud, and as far as Harper Woods High School alumni. And then also Harper Woods home vaccinations are going to be starting on Wednesday. And the phone number to call for those is 313-343-2550. And Also, if you are interested and attended the Harper Woods Community Health and Fitness Workshop, Salter Park has a walking club, so that if you want to be fit and walk outdoors, social distance, then I think their next meeting is going to be on the 29th, which is at 10 a.m. And it's actually in the Insider. I'm sorry.
9.
What was
Unless they just changed the time, it usually is at 9 o'clock.
Okay, well, there's a walking club, so folks want to join that. And yeah, that's it for me. And hopefully we can see more folks out helping to keep Harper Woods beautiful.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Ms. Pies has her hand raised.
Ms. Pies, Councilwoman Pies, may I help you?
Yes, you may. Sorry, I just wanted to say I'm looking here at the Michigan Municipal League blog, and it says that the House Commerce and Tourism Committee has posted for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to hear testimony on the House Bill 4722. So it's a little late to get in for the testimony, but they also have more information on HB 4722, which I can share with anybody who wants to email me. And they also have a video here, which I have not seen yet, but it's suggesting that we send the video out to our neighborhood associations and block clubs. So I can forward that link to our Mr. Hinton and to our NEDC group and see if they feel that this is appropriate for them to share. And that's it for right now. I was really saddened to hear that our state rep is a sponsor of this bill. I think this is really something that should have been discussed with like a separate town hall, perhaps, with our residents and with the Grosse Points. My problem with it, I've stayed at Airbnbs. I like them. You know, I like the ones that I've been to, but what I don't like about this bill is that it takes away local control. So that no matter what ordinance we make, no matter if we stand on our heads and beg or nothing, we don't have control of our own government. And I think we can pretty much all agree, including my fellow residents, that we like our city and we like to make our city the way that we see fit, the way that we believe is best for us to operate. So thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else? Okay, seeing none, I will have the last comments, and I want to begin with, first of all, is that there are COVID vaccinations that's being administered at WC3 on a daily basis this week from 9 o'clock to 3 p.m. on, I'm sorry, 8 o'clock to 3 p.m. on Mondays, and then from 9 to 3 p.m. on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and from 12 to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. That is the schedule for right now. If it does change, I will post the information and send the information to everyone about the change, but that's the way it stands for this week. It's been a little slow of people coming in, but that was because Wayne County had a glitch in their scheduling and information getting out to us as residents. We had to go back and get the correct information. So with saying that, I think we, Councilwoman Lyons, we are in our third week, no, the second week of the homebound vaccination. We started that about 2 weeks ago. And we've been taking appointments, transferring them over to the firefighters' non-emergency number, which is the number you gave out at 343-2550. We've been doing that for, we set that up about 2 weeks ago. So I'm glad that anyone that is homebound and not able to get out, it has access to getting their vaccination. And you also have the walk up with no appointments at WC3 at the present time to get the Minerva vaccine. I thought it was going to be the Pfizer, but it's not. It's Minerva. So we get that. You can get that vaccine by walking in. You don't have to make an appointment. Just during those hours that they are open. And that's the way it is for right now. For this week, the change may come through Wayne County Health Department. And it really may change specifically because we may not have enough people that are going up to get the vaccination. People started out last week because that's what they said they were going to start May 14th, but they did not. So they started it fully this week. And so a lot of people are still have gone to Kroger's and got their vaccination, but we're asking you, if you know of anyone, please make sure they go up to Wayne County so that we'll be able to keep this clinic in our community for as long as possible, because there are quite a few people in our community that have not been vaccinated. And we want everyone so that we can begin to have some sense of normalcy. I don't think we'll ever go back to the way we were before the COVID vaccine. COVID hit us, but we can come back to some normalcy. Not everything will be back the same. Another thing I want to bring up is that we will still have the wreath ceremony. The wreath will be placed at Johnson Park. So just for you, Councilwoman Pies, to know that we still will be placing at least 3 wreaths there so that, you can take a shot or whatever, but we will be placing there and have the fire lit at Johnson Park.
Are there
Yes.
any flyers on the medicine, on the appointments at Wayne County Community? Any flyers on that we could distribute or anything about the vaccine?
I will send you a flyer later on. They just now sending me this afternoon the flyer. Right, that's just how confusing has been with dealing with Wayne County Health Department. I appreciated them including us in a lot of things, but they did not even have our flyers together. And so I called their attention to that this afternoon, and they promised to get me one this evening. So I'll check as soon as I'm off this call, Zoom call. Oh, and one thing about the roads, when Governor Whitmer came into office, she had a project, and she does have a project of being, what would you say? They made sure that they had vendors that would stand behind their products. This was one of her pet peeves with the road construction people, that we make sure that we had, in fact, Governor Snyder had begun also doing that to hold people accountable, because it doesn't make sense to do a road and then within 5 years or so, the road is all cracked back up and stuff. So they are holding their vendors through MDOT accountable so that we can make sure that we have roads that last, instead of, have to be redone within 5 or 10 years. That is really totally unacceptable. Let's see. Well, I've told you about the Juneteenth, and also we will try to make sure that the Beautification Commission is able to do our beautification of the home. So get your homes ready. We will do our annual. We did not do it last year, but we will do it this year, where we will address the businesses and homeowners and give them the awards from the Beautification Commission. So we missed it last year, but with Councilwoman Sawicki, and we will make sure that that happens this year. we can't lose everything, but we can only bring everything back a little slow at a time. So that's one of the things that we will be bringing forward. And other than that, oh, I forgot. I will send this out to each one of you regarding support of working families. And it is the American Families Plan. And the American Families Plan would make it easier for working people to care for our loved ones, to invest and build better infrastructure for childcare, education, paid leave, and all some of the things that has generally devastated families is because we don't have these things in place. And then in most times it's single mothers that, or fathers, single fathers, I can't, but we are most times are the ones who our whole budget is devastated. You can't imagine what it's like for mothers that have kids that should have been in school. You have no daycare, So these are things this is a plan that makes to guarantee 12 weeks of paid leave, to add 2 years of universal preschool and 2 years of free community school for all. And it supports child care workers. Child care workers are some of the lowest paid employees in our country, along with nursing, what do they call them? Home care nursing, home care workers and stuff. Those are some of the lowest places, and they are responsible for our most vulnerable peoples, our children and our seniors. And why do we pay them the lowest amount of money is beyond my thinking. But these are some of the things that the American Family Plans will address. So I will send everyone this email out, and you can decide if you want to be a part of it, if you want to address it. But it is something that we need to make sure. And the infrastructure for our communities are just begging for help. We're talking about streets and streets repair. There's so much that we need to do that has come out during this COVID, and we need to address that. So with that being said, I thank everybody for your time.
Make a
And
motion, we adjourn.
well, I make a motion to adjourn.
I made the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everybody, and thank you so very much for your service to our city.
Good night.